You and your wife are in the middle of a disagreement. Nothing explosive yet, no yelling, no slammed doors, but you can feel it. Your chest tightens, your body heats up, your mind starts racing through everything you want to say or everything you're trying not to say. And right there is where most men make one of two moves. They either shut down and disappear, or they dig in and start defending themselves. These are different moves, but they lead to the same outcome: distance and tension. Most men think this is the problem, the fight, the disagreement, the moment things get uncomfortable, but it's not. Conflict isn't what ruins marriages. What ruins marriages is what happens inside once conflict starts. The tightening, the defensiveness, the urge to either shut down or take control. Because the couples who stay connected aren't the ones who never argue. They're the ones who know how to move through tension without blowing things up or disappearing when things get uncomfortable. And this isn't about learning fancy communication tricks. It's not about saying the perfect sentence or staying calm all the time. It's about understanding what actually needs to happen first when conflict shows up. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things that actually help in those moments, especially if you're a man who wants to stay present, steady, and grounded instead of retreating or reacting. This is practical, it's simple, and it works in real life, not just in theory. So let's get to work. Here's the first thing most men miss. Once conflict starts, your body reacts before your brain does. Your nervous system shifts into threat mode. Your heart rate goes up, your breathing gets shallow, your shoulders tighten, your field of vision narrows, and once that happens, your ability to listen, to stay curious, or think clearly drops fast. That's why you interrupt, that's why you get sharp, that's why you get quiet or you pull away, because your body is already in fight or flight mode. And most men were never taught to notice this. They just feel the surge and try to power through it. They think, if I just explain myself better, if I just stay in this conversation, if I just get my point across. But pushing through that state almost always makes things worse, because when your body is activated like that, connection is offline. So the first move isn't to solve the issue. It isn't to defend yourself, and it isn't to convince her of anything. The first move is to slow your body down by slowing the moment down. That might sound like saying, hey, I want to talk about this, but I can feel myself getting overwhelmed. Can we take a few minutes and come back to it? And what's important here is that you don't use this as an opportunity to disappear. You're not walking away from the relationship or the conflict. You're protecting it from damage you don't actually want to cause. And you're making an agreement that you'll come back. So what you do during that break matters. Don't storm off. Don't replay the argument in your head. Do something that actually settles your nervous system. A short walk or slower breathing, letting your body come back online. Then and only then come back to the conversation, because a regulated body creates a steadier conversation, and a steadier conversation is what gives connection a chance. So once your body is calmer, this is where most conversations are won or lost, not because of the issue, but because of the first 30 seconds. The opening moments of any conversation sets the tone for everything that follows. When you feel hurt, ignored, or frustrated, even if you don't say it out loud, you'll often lead with blame without realizing it. Saying something like, you never listen, or you're always on your phone, or why do you do this every time? And the moment those words come out, something predictable happens. Her nervous system lights up. She stops hearing your point. She starts defending herself. And now both of you are bracing instead of connecting. At that point, it doesn't matter how valid your concern is. The conversation is already off track. This is where a lot of men get confused. They think the problem is what they're saying, but most of the time it's how they're starting. A better approach is simpler than it sounds. Instead of leading with blame, lead with impact and desire. Talk about what something felt like for you. Talk about what you actually want, not what she's doing wrong. That might sound like, when that happened, I felt shut out. What I really want is to feel more connected to you. Or, I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to explain what that moment was like for me. Notice what's different here. You're not accusing, you're not diagnosing her behavior, you're letting her see inside your experience. And that's something a partner can respond to. Because when a conversation starts softer, it stays safer. And safety is what keeps both people present long enough to work through the hard moments. Because healthy couples aren't better at avoiding conflict, they're better at repairing inside of conflict. A repair is any moment when you interrupt the spiral and signal something important, that I care about us more than I care about winning an argument. And most men don't think in those terms. They think repair means backing down, losing ground, admitting they're wrong, so they stay silent, or they double down, or they wait for the other person to fix it first. And while they're waiting, the damage keeps spreading. A repair doesn't have to be a big moment. It can be simple, it can be awkward, it can come out clumsily. You don't need to solve the entire problem with just one line. You just need to keep the connection intact while you're in the moment. Because once a conversation turns into a win or lose battle, connection disappears fast. Repair brings it back. That moment of repair is often what determines whether a conflict becomes a turning point or another brick in the wall between you. And the men who are willing to repair sooner than their pride wants to, they're the ones whose marriages feel steadier over time. So don't hesitate to say, I'm sorry for the way I started that conversation. Can we try again? Here's the big idea I want you to hold on to. Conflict isn't a sign that your marriage is doomed. It's information. It's pointing to something important, a need that isn't being met, a value that feels threatened, a place where one of you feels unseen, unheard, or disconnected. And most couples don't struggle because conflict exists. They struggle because they don't know what to do with the information conflict brings. And when you can stay present through conflict, even clumsily, even imperfectly, something different happens. Trust builds. Because your wife learns something that matters more than the argument itself, that you don't disappear when things get hard, that you don't shut her out and you don't turn her into the enemy. And that's what creates safety over time. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't need fewer disagreements, you need better moments inside them. Start with your body, slow things down, lead with clarity instead of blame, repair sooner than your pride wants you to, and don't believe that you have to be perfect, you just have to stay present. So the next time tension shows up, don't think about how to win the argument, think about how to stay in the relationship, because that's how trust is built, and that's how connection grows, and that's how you become a better husband.